Said, yep. You already know what it is. Southpaw Talk with Southpaw Slick. And today's video is going to be based on a Facebook post by Allie Marie. And the Facebook post was, if black men love black women so much, then marry one ASAP. And you already know the comment section was on fire. Of course, I'm going to link the post in the description so you guys can see it. So you guys can see it. Like I told you, I don't be making none of this shit up. I don't. I don't. And well, as you can see, I'm in a different recording area. This time, once again, most of the areas I record in are preoccupied right now. But let's get back to the post. If black men love black women so much, then marry one ASAP. Now, on the surface, I'm perfectly fine with that, right? I'm perfectly fine with that. But should we be forced to marry women that don't qualify? And I'm not talking about just black women in general. Like, none of them are marriage worthy. I'm definitely not saying that, because there are wifeable black women, of course. But there's a lot that aren't. Just because a black man loves a black woman doesn't mean he needs to, jump ship and get married right away. Like, that's no, especially in this day and age. I don't know why it's so hard for women to accept that marriage is way too risky for a man to get into. And it has gotten progressively worse over time. And what is the point of getting down on bended knee when 9 times out of 10, the marriage is not going to last anyway? Now, me, myself, I take marriage seriously. When you take those vows, when you say those vows, that till death do us part, that's it. That's it. I'm saying after you get married, that's it. I'm with you for the long haul. I mean, this is not no half-assing. Ain't no halfway. Ain't no halfway crux. There's no half-assing for me. I'm saying if I get married, if I ever am crazy enough to get married, that is it. That's it. There's no divorce, none of that bullshit. And that also means that you have to vet women a lot more than you used to, because marriage is so risky for us. You know what I mean? Now, her saying if black men love black women so much, then marry one ASAP. I'm not just going to marry any old black woman. You know what I mean? That's just not happening. Now, of course, like I stated previously, just like in the video yesterday, I did about would you date a cop? Of course, a black woman is always going to be my first choice. Preferably, I would love to date a black woman, a wholesome, marriageable black woman. I would love that. But I'm saying, but to be entitled to it, that's where the issue lies. Because that's the way it's coming across. Now, me, myself, I didn't read the whole post. I will. I definitely will go back to the comment section. I'll say on lunch, I'm definitely going to like check the rest of the comments, because I know that shit is on fire. And I know there's going to be some self-hating black men in there, of course. Just because you're not willing to date a black woman doesn't make you a self-hater off bat, off rip. Now, for some black people, period, it does. It's like if you really love yourself, then you would marry or be with somebody that's of a similar image. Like I'm saying, if you love yourself, then you'll love a black woman, right? Now, me, I'm cool with that. But at the same time, like I said, I'm fine with interracial dating as well, as long as people do it for the right reasons, which is not the majority. To reiterate, the main reasons why people even get into an interracial relationship is, one, out of spite for the opposite sex, and two, sexual myth. Like, oh, white women do this, or black women have the wettest box, or Spanish women. That's what I'm saying. It's stereotypes. Like I'm saying, so it's like, man, let me find out for myself. You know, those are the two main reasons why people even get into an interracial relationship. But back on topic, um, this is just a cry out of desperation, which I've also brought up in other videos. I'm saying it's like women are so desperate to get married. Matter of fact, the one I did about women proposing to men, that's why I'm saying it's gotten that bad that women want to get married that bad. They'll even the one that if I can find the clip, if I can find it, because somebody put it on like Instagram a few months ago, and it was from one of those court shows like People's Court or whatnot, and the guy was taking the woman took the guy to court because she bought a ring, right? She bought a engagement ring for herself, but she wanted him to propose with that ring she bought. And she started crying and everything because it's like, he won't marry me, he won't engage. I was like, wow, it's gotten that bad that you're gonna buy your own engagement ring. I'm saying that's fucking insane to me. That you're that desperate. Women are that desperate to get married because they see guys, I said gradually, I'll say it's probably the majority now, are like, fuck that. I'm not going to put everything I work for at risk if things go wrong or if she gets bored or the code word, irreconcilable differences. I'm not going to do that fuck shit just because. I'm saying I want to get married when it's genuine, not because I'm forced to. That's what this post screams to me. It's desperation. If you love black women so much, then marry one ASAP. See, that's the key. That's the key word, or better yet, phrase. That's what I'm saying. Get married ASAP. Insane. Like I'll say, the acronym ASAP. That's what's really putting me off. When I looked at it, I'm like, nah. Like I said, we have to, see if we are even compatible to take that next step. I'm saying we might have to date for 2-3 years before I want to take that step. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just going to meet this woman and just because she's black, I'm going to marry her. I don't know about her. I don't know her whole facts. I don't know if she's crazy. I don't know if she's serious when it comes to being in a long-term relationship. Maybe I'm just a quick fling or a short-term just kicking it type thing. I'm saying I don't know none of that. That's why I gotta, vet you out a little bit before I even consider marrying you. I'm not gonna marry you just because you look pretty. I'm not gonna marry you just because you exist. That's not happening. And I wish people would stop being delusional. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I did read a few of the comments. Like I said, I'm going to go back and read the rest of it because I'm definitely going to sit back and eat my popcorn. But there was one comment on there that really stood out. And the woman said that black men are the only men that think marriage is a choice and not an essential. Now, at one point in time, marriage was essential. Marriage was a necessity, especially around a time period or zeitgeist where women couldn't work. You know what I mean? So you had to marry a man. I said in order to sustain your livelihood financially. That's when marriage was an essential, you know what I mean? For a man to be able to pass on his legacy, procreate with a woman. Now you can do that with or without marriage, but it was more encouraged back then to get married to get that kind of access, which I'm perfectly fine with. But we don't live in a traditional society anymore. Therefore, marriage is not an essential. It is definitely a choice. The same way it's a choice when you choose to get the fuck out of it when you're ready to get divorced. That's why I'm saying if marriage was an essential, people would stay married. And that's not the case. And I'm saying, and women need to understand that. I'm saying it's way too risky for us to do that. That's why men are not getting married. Not because you're black and he's black. It's not that black and white. Or cut and dry. It's really not. That's why I said I'm not going to get married just because you're entitled to it. We're not doing that bullshit. Like I said, I agree to an extent, but when you said that ASAP shit, that turned me way off. Like I said, that's a cry out of desperation. And you can't convince me otherwise. Because like I said, if you weren't desperate to get married, you wouldn't put no stupid shit up like that. If you knew you was worth being married to, you wouldn't put no shit up like that. Like I said, like this chick, I just like recently got introduced to her, so I haven't really looked at her page, but I guarantee you I'm gonna find something on there that's gonna put her like in thought category. I'm saying whether she has an OnlyFans link, ass out, titties out, cooch out, gooch out. That's what I'm saying. Like, she could be one of them Instagram thoughts or OnlyFans thoughts. I said for all I know, which is a lot of them. I'm not saying just women in general, not just black. I'm saying it's very, very common. And I don't look at these women as marriage material, and so do other men. We don't see them as marriage material. Just a quick fuck and dip. That's it. Smash and dash. Like I said, but I'm going to check her page out. I'm going to go back to the post because I want to have a different perspective or perspectives on this topic because I think it's interesting. I really do. Like I said, I agree to an extent, but not when there's entitlement behind it. But break's about to be over. Southpaw Slick, I'm out.